Yes, hello and welcome. This is Dr. John Mason. I'm with Masters of the Journey, and today we're talking about a project for the Grandparent Elders Wisdom Sharing Project. And I'm trying to find out, get some input from you, if you will, on what is your spiritual legacy? And I'll tell you why I'm asking you that question, and perhaps you will find a way of responding to me through the email that's listed below. Let me begin by asking you a question. If you were going to be sharing stories or wisdoms from the experience that you've had in your life with, say, your children or your grandchildren or with the younger generation, what story would you tell them? What would be the story that came out of your life that was life-changing for you, where you came to the crossroads, and you picked a direction, perhaps a road less traveled, and it turned into a really great learning experience? Or maybe even more important for spiritual development, it became some sort of a huge awakening for you, an experience that was enlightening, that you wouldn't trade for anything, even if it was challenging, painful, or difficult, something that you really learned something from. And if you can't think of any story of your own to share the next generation or the future generations to come, what story or experience have you been told? What story have you heard from an elder, from a wise person, that may have been something that enlightened you, gave you a different perspective on things? Now, before I have you answer those type of questions, and if you have one of those, by the way, I would love to be able to do a video recording of you through this Zoom format, put it into our library, something that was really compelling for you and something that you really want to share. But to stimulate that, I want to ask you about your legacy. What do you want to be remembered by? What How does your legacy, not as far as material things that you've gathered, toys that you've purchased or found or whatever, but what is coming from your heart? What is it that you want people to say about you if you weren't around anymore? And another question to help stimulate this is, actually, this is a point that was brought up by a friend of mine. He said that on people's deathbed, there's often a couple of things that really come to mind, things that they wish they could have done, or they wish they knew how to answer in the most effective way. And one is, you know, I wish I had legacy, a lasting legacy. And again, not material things, but something that maybe have made change to our world or that was of service to the world. The other thing that comes to mind is that people often say, I wish I had said, I love you more. And that could be the legacy that some people have, the reaching out, connecting with other people, and letting them know that they are supported and that they are loved. Your legacy is something that is very personal to you. It's individual. It's based on the life experience that you've had. It would be something that would give perspective to anybody who would watch this video if we make one together, or that you might engage in the conversation. This isn't just for the next generation or for future generations. This is a conversation. This is a thought for you. How would you live the rest of your life differently if you felt that your legacy was not complete? If you hadn't done enough, if you hadn't done what you wanted to do or set out to do, if you hadn't found your purpose and pursued the passion in your life or passions, this is for you to consider. And what I know is I'm a member of the baby boomers generation. I was born in 1950, kind of at the beginning, middle of the baby boomers. And I know that we're reaching the age where we need to consider take stock, if you will, in our lives and say, did I really do what I set out to do? And if I didn't, what could I say about that? What could I do about that in the time remaining? And I challenge you to do that. And so I ask you to consider this and perhaps email me at mason@dstress.com if you see this and you have a story that you want to share. If you want to become part of our library for future generations, or maybe you're even your grandchildren or your children to have a record of you, we'll be posting those on YouTube as best we can, and you'll be able to then send links to the people that you care about if it's a story that you really feel is good and that you want to share with them to change their lives. I'm really searching for the ones that have created spiritual or consciousness development for you, those times that stopped you on a dime and sent you in a different direction and was something that you would not trade with anybody for anything because they were so important to you. So, this is again Dr. John Mason with Masters of the Journey, and we're talking about the Grandparent Elders Wisdom Sharing Project. And you can reach me at Mason, M-A-S-O-N, at dstress.com. That's D in front of the word stress.com. Looking forward to hearing from you, getting your feedback, and whatever support you can give to not only the coming generations, but to you as you consider this for the rest of your time. Just remember, you are a miracle. You're amazing. I'm so glad that you are you. You are perfect the way you are. And please remember that you are loved and you are a blessing. Thanks again for your time and your attention. We'll see you soon. Bye bye.